Alright, what is up everybody? Welcome back to another Splatoon 3 tier list. This is going to be for the newest fresh season 3.0.0, the newest patch we've gotten for the game that just released about a week ago up until now. So kind of just been playing the game and kind of just learning the game, playing the new weapons, seeing what they're being played, how they're being played, and kind of where they're landing into ranked and kind of that type of thing. So if you guys like these tier list videos, they always do really good. If you guys like them, keep on showing support to the videos and I'll keep on bringing them your guys' way. Leave a like, subscribe, share the video, especially if you are new. I'd really appreciate it. I also stream Splatoon 3 and a bunch of other stuff, so if you do not want to miss that, feel free to subscribe down below. Apart from that, we got a bunch of new weapons. Shout out to somebody that actually updated this tier list as well on the website. It actually got updated sometime today, like right before I started recording today, so shout out to whoever's the one that actually finally updated the tier list after, like, since the game got released. Saved me a ton of editing and actually missed a bunch of weapons that were actually added, so about damn time. It took long enough, but shout out to whoever actually updated it. Really appreciate it. But if you guys missed my past tier list videos as well, I'll link some of those at the end of the video for the last couple patches. But this is going to be a tier list mainly for your higher tiers of ranked, from your S tier all the way up to like high tier, mid tier to high tier S plus tier, kind of into X rank. I haven't been in X rank yet, so I can't really like get a good grasp on what's actually being played in X rank, but that's pretty much like borderline like pro play, pretty much is what X rank it really is. So but I have been S tier and S plus and above consistently the entirety of Splatoon 3 so far. So apart from when it first launched, I was kind of grinding through the ranks. I had to grind through all the ranks to get up there, but since that point I've been S tier and S plus and above every single patch. So get right into this. Here's the list. I'll throw it on screen for you guys right now. This is going to be kind of the tiering I'm going to be doing for this list. We got S tier. This is the stuff that you're going to be seeing and the weapons you're going to be seeing almost in every one of your ranked games. This is the stuff you're going to be playing that you need to be playing to win the game, and you want to have the highest chance of winning. It is also the stuff that actually it needs nerfs, like the stuff that they refuse to nerf in some way, whether it's their special that needs to be nerfed or the actual like main weapon or whatever it needs to be nerfed. That is the stuff that's going to be in S tier. Must play it if you want to win type stuff. A plus above average, A is your average type stuff, B is below average, C is kind of situational, B is almost borderline like garbage, apart from maybe like a few specific maps or team comps that you're going to be playing it into or playing it with. And then F tier is your bottom of the barrel, like garbage weapons. These are weapons that are just absolutely awful, and you do not want to be playing them in your ranked games. They may be good in turf war or they may be good in other modes, but in ranked games, you're not going to want to be playing these games, or not playing these in your ranked games, just because they're so bad. They need major reworks or like major buffs to either their specials or their entire kit or something in that aspect. So that being said, let's hop right into this. Rapid Blaster deck. I'm going to start out with all the newer weapons because I'm sure that's what you guys are here for. You guys want to know where the newer weapons are going to be landing, so I figured I might as well start off with those and get my opinions and kind of talk about those at the start of this, because they're the newest thing and they're the thing that everybody's been trying to play and kind of testing out recently. Rapid Blaster Deco. Where am I going to put this? I'm going to put the Rapid Blaster in A tier. The problem with the Rapid Blaster Deco is it has a really good sub, but Inkjet is just really bad. Even with the buffs to Inkjet doing more damage to Crab Tank, you're still not seeing it played at all. And you're still seeing like your higher tiers of rank, especially like pro play, which I'm not really going to take into consideration that much, but like pro play kind of dictates your higher levels of Splatoon ranked gameplay. And you're still seeing people run Sloshing Machine and like triple Splash-O-Matic with Crab Tank, and nothing with Ultra Stamp, nothing with Inkjet, like nothing with that actually got buffed to deal with Crab Tank as being played. So pretty much identical to last patch, if I'm being 100% real with you guys. Nothing was absolutely changed at all, apart from adding a couple new weapons that are actually decent, that are actually playable. But like overall in your higher tiers of ranked, like nothing has really changed, just because they never really nerfed anything. They kind of tried to buff stuff, and they never nerfed anything at all, which is why this game is so poorly balanced up until this point. I don't know. I do like the kit, though. I really like the kit for the Rapid Blaster, the new Rapid Blaster deco we did get for this patch. But it's just, the problem is, Inkjet is just way too bad. It is so easy to get you shot out of the sky and get you killed. It's pretty much a, hey, look at enemy team. I'm flying in the sky, look at me and shoot me down and get me killed type of ult right now. And it's just not that good. The torpedo is good though, but apart from that, it's just the problem with this weapon is being held back by Inkjet. And Inkjet is a great special. I really like the special. It's a fun to play special, but it's just so bad. And it needs major buffs to make it good. Clash Blaster Deco. You know, I'm not even going to bother putting this thing on the list because it's just garbage. It's F tier. There is no reason to play this thing at all. It has the new special Super Chump, and even then, you're just not even going to want to bother playing this thing over anything else. If you want to play a weapon that has the same special as this, you just pick up the NZAP 85. The NZAP 85 does everything this thing does, but like 10 times better. The only thing it's not is it's not a blaster, but even then, it doesn't need to be a blaster to be better than this thing. The Clash Blaster is such an awful weapon. This is a type of weapon that the main weapon is just so weak to where it just gets held back. And this kit is actually even worse than its actual like regular counterpart with the normal Clash Blaster. The normal Clash Blaster has an incredible kit, and it's even being held back by a bad weapon, which I might as well just throw the Clash Blaster down in F tier as well because it's garbage. Do not play these two weapons. Do not play the Clash Blasters if you are not in like your low tier of ranked. Like if you're like in your C, B, C, and maybe like lower A tier, so you can maybe do decent with it. Anything above there, you're pretty much asking to throw your games, and you're gonna have your people on your team asking, why do I have a Clash Blaster on my team? You automatically make the game a 3v4 most times, just with how bad you are doing, and with just being able to play anything else over a Clash Blaster, pretty much. Got the Zeko plus Firefin Splat Chargers. You know, I think those are actually pretty solid weapons. I really do. I think they're pretty solid, but I don't think they're crazy as everybody thought they were going to be. I'm going to put them in A+ tier because I do think the kits are really good. And the longer they are in the game, the more people are going to learn how to play these weapons. I mean, I say these weapons. It's one weapon. One of them has a scope and one of them doesn't. But I do think they can be really good. But with a lot of the map changes, you're seeing a lot of the snipers not be really as oppressive as they were last patch, which I think is one of the only changes that actually did anything, at least for like your higher tiers of play. You're still seeing snipers played, but they aren't like as oppressive on some of the maps, just because they made a lot of map changes to where long-range weapons like the snipers aren't really as good, and they don't really have as clean of line of sights on most things. So, and I might as well just put all the other snipers in this tier as well, because the splatter scope's still really good. I'd probably put that in A+ tier. Same with the E-leaders. I'd put all those in probably A+ tier for this patch. I think they're still incredibly good, but they're just a little slightly more map dependent on what maps you actually play them with. But still incredibly good. You're going to be seeing them in a lot of your games, and they're still really good, especially if you know how to play them. They're still incredibly good. Kraken Splat Roller. This is one of the only weapons out of 2 in the entire game right now that actually has the new special Kraken. If it wasn't such a bad kit, like it has Beacon and it's a Splat Roller, which the kit does not make any sense at all. I don't think this thing's really good at all. I'm going to put it at a C tier. The problem with this thing is that the regular Splat Roller is just better than this thing. You have the Curling Bomb, which is such a better sub for this thing, and there's no reason why you would play this. The only reason you play this right now is just for the special, which is the Kraken. And there's only 2 weapons in the game that actually have it right now, the other being the 96 Scout, which we'll talk about next. But like, apart from that, you're not going to be picking this weapon up at all. It's not good. I've been seeing some people run like a Ninja Squid, like quick respawn build with like, and just like being able to like jump to their beacons and get back into the fight really quickly, and just kind of trying to farm ult and trying to farm kills that way with that type of build. But even then, I haven't been seeing it doing that good. I think there's way better options for those type of builds as well. I don't know, if I'm being 100% real, if you ask me, and I would actually rather play a Splat Roller I would play the other one over the Kraken Splat Roller because I think the other one's just a lot better with the Curling Bomb. The Curling Bomb just makes or breaks the weapon. And you're pretty much playing a roller that has no mobility. You just get shit on by a lot of the other closer range weapons, especially if you can't get up close enough and actually one-shot them. 96 Gal. I'm going to put the 96 Gal for the sheer fact that it is the best weapon in the entire game with the special Kraken at an A+ tier. I'm not going to put it in S tier because a lot of people are thinking the Kraken is broken right now. I do think the Kraken is really, really powerful, but being that it's the only weapon that is actually decent with it right now that you can actually get Kraken on is the 96 Gal Deco. I'm going to put it at the A+ tier. I think once they give a lot of the other weapons Kraken, and if they do not nerf Kraken for next patch or like the mid-season patch, and they start giving it to some other weapons that are actually better than the Kraken Splat Roller and the 96 Gal Deco, I do think the Kraken will end up being broken because it is incredibly good. It's just kind of held back by what weapons it's really on right now. And there's only 2 weapons in the game that do have Kraken, and the 96 Gal is the only one that's actually decent that you're actually seeing played for the special. So once it gets on a bunch of other weapon kits and they start giving Kraken out to a bunch of other kits, and depending on if they nerf it or not, if they don't nerf it and they put it onto a bunch of other like better weapons, and they start doing that, I think it's going to be incredibly busted. But right now, you just don't have it on nearly enough weapons, and the weapons that it is good on, it's not really good enough of a weapon to actually play most of the time, apart from just playing it for the Kraken. So apart from that, though, I do think it's A+ tier worthy, just because it is the best weapon in the game and the only weapon in the game that you can be playing for Kraken mainly. Splash-O-Matic Neo. I'm going to put this one actually at an A+, but you're actually seeing this being played at higher tiers as well now, along with the other Splash-O-Matic with Crab Tank. You're actually seeing people play it with like 2 Splash-O-Matics and then like a Splash-O-Matic Neo, and then like as like a 4th option, usually like an Explosure or like a Sloshing Machine or something of that nature, and you're like really high tiers of play. The only problem with this thing is it kind of gets still outshadowed by the splatter. The splatter shot, or the T-Tech splatter shot, I think it is, which has this pretty much the same kit but with a splat bomb, which is arguably 10 times better. This thing has a suction bomb instead, but even then, it kind of comes down to personal preference. If you like playing the splash, having the perfect accuracy and that type of thing, you can still play it, and it pretty much does the same thing. It kind of just a little bit outshadowed by another weapon kit right now, but even then, I think it's still incredibly good. But I'm gonna put it at A tier just because of that. Anzap 89. I do want to put this weapon lower. I really do, but considering that it's the only weapon in the game apart from the Clash Blaster Neo right now that actually has Super Chump, which is a brand new special, and it is the best farming Super Chump special, I have to put it A+ tier. I don't think it's broken at all, and I actually think Super Chump is a really bad special. I really do. It doesn't do nearly enough damage. It doesn't do nearly enough paint if you let the decoys explode, and I just don't think it's that good. Originally in Splatoon 2, if you guys don't know what this thing had Auto Bomb and Tenta Missiles. I think this thing got a huge downgrade with the new special being added to it instead of Tenta Missiles. I wish they would have gave the Anzap 89 Tenta Missiles, because I think it would have been a lot better and a million times better of a weapon. Super Chump is just a garbage special. It's pretty spammable and it's fun to use, but it just doesn't do anything. The damage is lacking, it's too easy to destroy the decoys, and it just doesn't really do enough paint if they actually explode, because and you're not really going to be using it for paint anyways most of the time, when you can paint pretty much the same area with your main weapon, at least in the case of the Anzap 85, in about the same time it takes for your Super Chumps to explode, or by the time they get destroyed. So, but if you do want a weapon that farms the new special Super Chump, I think the Anzap 89 is the best one in the game. But you're not going to be seeing this in your higher tiers of play. The only reason I'm putting this at an A+ is because it is one of the only, like, similar to like the 96 Gal. It's one of the new special weapons, and the one that you're going to have to be playing if you want to use that special that's actually good. Because the Clash Blaster Neo is pretty much garbage. You're just asking to lose on that weapon, and you can't really farm special off that very easily. You're more than likely going to die before you just charge a special most of the time, and just die over and over and never even get your special, and you're lucky to maybe only get it once or twice a game. With the NZAP 89, it paints really well and it's a lot more safe and just 10 times better than the Clash Blaster in every way, pretty much. Try Slosher, was it Deco, I think it is. I think it's Deco or Nonival. Nonival's, I think, the other one. Has, I think it's Fizzy Bomb and, was it Tagged Cooler? I'm gonna put it A tier. I think it's an average type weapon. It's better than the actual, like, base version. You're seeing this played a lot more than actual, like, the regular Tri-Slosher with Inkjet and whatever Splat Bomb or whatever it has. It's still a solid kit, but Inkjet is just so bad, and I think Tagged Cooler is actually a better type of special right now to have over Inkjet most times. It's just a lot more useful and you get a lot more value out of it most of the time. Overall, I kind of was shitting on this kit for when it was released, but I do think it's a lot more solid than I gave it credit for, so I will admit I got shit on, and I do eat my words for that, because it is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. But even then, I think it's still only, like, average. Cherry L3, this thing has Ultra Stamp and Burst Bomb, garbage. There's no reason to play this thing at all over any of the other Ultra Stamp weapons or any other weapons that have Burst Bomb. There's just no reason to play this thing at all. Why you would play this, I don't know. It has a really good sub, like the Burst Bomb is great for this weapon, but it's just held back by the Ultra Stamp. And even if you want to play Ultra Stamp, there's just so many better options right now that you're going to want to play instead over this thing. The L3 is just not good right now. Same with the Cherry L3, it's just not really good. I wouldn't say it's unplayable worthy, but it's definitely D tier, borderline being like garbage. It needs some major changes or major buffs, whether it's the main weapon or mainly just the special for Ultra Stamp. We got the Sploosh Neo, I think it is, with Killer Whale and Beacon. You're not going to be playing this thing in your ranked games. If it was a Turf War tier list, I'd put this probably like A+ or like S tier, because I think it's incredibly good in Turf War. But like in your ranked games, you're not going to be playing this thing at all. It's probably the best farming like Killer Whale weapon in the game, but you're just trading farming for a special for having an absolute garbage main weapon, and you're just better off picking anything else that has Killer Whale if you really want to farm that special and play something with that. It's just not good. And then Beacon is something as well, like, it's kind of very situational. You can use it to like set up beacons in the enemy team spawn and that type of thing, and kind of just keep respawning over and over and just jumping to your beacons and kind of flanking the enemy team. But even then, if the enemy team actually like adapts to that and destroys your beacons, then you're pretty much useless the entire game. So it's only really good in like a lower tier of play, to where the point where you actually have people that don't actually realize beacons are being set up and kind of just let you do whatever you want, which is very rare. I would not touch it at all right now. It's really bad. Custom Jet Squelcher. I'm gonna put this thing in a B tier. I don't think it's that good. This thing originally had, I think it was Toxic Mist and Tenta Missiles in Splatoon 2. Another weapon they got rid of Tenta Missiles for whatever reason, and they gave it Ink Storm. I mean, Ink Storm is okay on this weapon, but it has Toxic Mist, which isn't that good. It's better than Line Marker for its original kit, but I don't know, I feel like the Jet Squelcher right now is just really underwhelming for like a mid to like backline support type weapon. It's just not that good. Another weapon that would have benefited from having missiles carried over and just have like the entire like identical kit carried over from Splatoon 2 and put into this game, but then they got to go and change the special to something that's even worse than it was. Kind of one of those weapons. Kind of got the short end of the stick, because Nintendo thinks it's funny to actually play with stuff and change stuff for no reason. Rapid Blaster. I don't know. I think the Rapid Blaster is A tier. Kind of the same tier as the Deco. Nothing with it's really changed, but it's just kind of average. Mainly good in your tower control games. That's where you're going to be seeing it a lot. And it's decent in splat zones with a Triple Ink Strike. But apart from that, you're not going to be seeing it very much. Tri-Slosher Deco. I think this thing's... I want to say B tier, but I'll be generous and I'll put it in A tier. It's solid. It's decent. Nothing crazy about it at all, though. Rapid Blaster Pro. I think as a support weapon, it's kind of slept on. It really is. But I can't really put it higher than a B tier, just because it kind of gets shit on by a lot of the other stuff. And if you want to play like a support weapon or like a backline type weapon, you're better off just playing a Charger or some of the other longer range stuff. That's the kind of the main problem. And it's only really good in towers. you aren't going to really be seeing it in a lot of the other modes, so it's kind of another thing that kind of holds it back. Range Blaster. Man, do I wish the Range Blaster was better. I really do. I'm putting it at C tier. I don't think it's good right now at all. The problem with the Range Blaster is it needs an entire new kit. Until it gets a new second variant of a kit that is not Suction Bomb or Wave Crash, or whatever the wave... I don't know what it is. Whatever that special is. I forgot what it is. Wave... I don't know. I keep saying Wave Crash, but it's not Wave Crash. It's whatever that special is it has. I'm just having a brain fart right now, but until it gets like a different kit, like you're not going to be seeing this thing being played. And even in like towers, there's just so many other better blasters to be playing right now. You kind of just get shit on by a lot of the other closer range stuff that can kind of close the distance on you and kind of kill you at close range. Because if they can get into close range, you're pretty much good as dead with how slow your fire rate is. And if you can't land a direct, you got about maybe like 1 or 2 seconds to land a direct on somebody before they kill you at close range. And with like a lot of the really close range like shooters and stuff being played and dualies being played, it's just so difficult to play. Even in towers. I'll put the blaster at B tier, but apart from towers, you're not going to be seeing this thing at all. I really love this weapon, and it's one of my favorite weapons and my most played weapons in the entire game. But like Big Bubbler is just so boring on this weapon. This is another blaster that needs an entire like second kit or a third kit option to where it gets something else that's actually decent. I wouldn't mind actually having Inkjet on this weapon with the custom blaster. I really wouldn't. Maybe they'll bring back Inkjet for a custom blaster here this next patch. I don't know. But I would rather even have Inkjet over Big Bubbler because I think just Big Bubbler is just really boring and most of the time just doesn't do anything right now. Granted, Inkjet's probably worse, but still, at least Inkjet's fun to play. Luna Blaster. I'm not going to say it's absolutely useless because I've been playing the Luna Blaster Neo a lot recently and I think it's actually decent if you know how to play it. The Luna Blaster just comes down to if you can actually use Zipcaster or not. If you're good at using Zipcaster, you can get value out of it, but apart from that, it's borderline unplayable right now. It needs some major buffs. Ink Brush. I mean, it's decent in clamps. Ink Brush is decent in clamps. Apart from that, you're not really going to be seeing it very much. I'm going to put it at a B tier. Same with the Octo Brush. I think they're both kind of the same right now. Not really, nothing too crazy. The Goo Tuber, very situational. The only reason you're going to be playing this thing is because it has Tenta Missiles, and even then, you're just better off playing like some of the other weapons that actually have Tenta Missiles in the game, like the Flingza and stuff like that. You're not going to be wanting to run this thing. Bamboozler, really bad. Needs some major buffs, and they need to give back the ability to be able to one-shot somebody. Until they give that back, whenever main power-up got removed, it's just been garbage. And they never buff it. It never gets any buffs. They got a bit of like an ink, like how was it, ink recovery buff or like ink usage buff, like a couple patches ago. But ever since then, it hasn't got anything, and that didn't even do anything for the weapon, anyways. It needs to have the ability to one-shot back, and until that comes back, or it gets like a better second kit than what it has currently, being like one of the most mid-type kits in the entire game, it's not going to be played at all, and it's just absolute garbage. If you want to lose, play the Bamboozler. It's a meme. It's a meme, and that's it. Squiffer, I think is really bad right now. This thing needs an entire new second kit, and it's just not good. You're not going to be playing this thing at all, unless you're like an absolute god at it. It's really bad. Needs some major buffs or like a second kit. Dually Squelchers, I think, are solid at an A tier. Nothing with them has really changed at all. Gluga Dualies are god-awful. I would not touch them at all. If you want to lose, play the Gluga Dualies. They have Booyah Bomb, which is great special, but the main weapons are just really holding them back. It has a really solid kit, but the main weapons are just so bad. Way too much ink it takes for them to be used and to dodge roll, and the fire rate is just way too slow. Need some major buffs. Splat Dualies, I'm going to put it in A tier. I think they're average right now, just mainly because Crab Tank is still really good. Shocker, they tried to nerf Crab Tank indirectly, and it didn't do anything to Crab Tank. Who would have thought that one? I would have been able to think that one, and I told them, and I said it even before the patch even dropped. If they don't like nerf Crab Tank directly, it'll still probably be one of the best specials in the entire game, and what happened? And I'm not even being paid to balance the game. There are people at Nintendo being paid to balance this game, and I'm not even being paid to balance the game, and I knew better than them, which is really sad. Dapple Dooley's C tier, very situational, and it's kind of more comp dependent and map dependent right now. Dark Tetras, I think, are incredibly good. You're seeing people, these are, I think, out of all the dualies in the game, I think these are the ones you're going to be seeing played the most, and the ones that are being most effectively played out of all the dualies. Dark Tetras are great right now, and it's mainly because of the quick respawn builds. You run like a really aggressive, like quick respawn build, like a bunch of quick respawn and that type of thing. You just run at the enemy team and try to just either trade the entire game or just be really annoying and just respawn over and over. That's kind of what they're kind of really doing right now, and you are seeing played a lot. I do run into them a lot in ranked, so I think out of all the dualies in the game right now, I think they are the best ones, and the ones that are being played the most. I think, though, I wouldn't say that the Dark Tetras need to be nerfed, but I do think quick respawn, if it keeps getting played and keeps getting ran on a lot of builds, like it's continuing to be ran on like a bunch of builds and seems to be getting more and more popular. I think once quick respawn gets really popular and if everybody's running that even more so than now, I think they need to nerf quick respawn, and I think that's the main problem with this weapon. I wouldn't say the weapon itself is even broken, it's just mainly like the gear builds that are really good with it right now, which is quick respawn, like aggro, just die over and over and be really annoying type builds. Got the Carbon Roller, garbage. If you want to lose, play this weapon. Garbage. Dynamo Roller, incredibly garbage. I'm not even going to bother putting that. I'm not even going to put it in D tier. Somebody's going to argue that it's not an F tier, but if you play this thing in ranked, you're asking to lose right now. It's just not good. It is awful. Flingza, still incredibly good. The best Tenta missile weapon in the entire game. If you want a weapon that plays Tenta missiles and has Tenta missiles, you play the Flingza. It's still really good, really solid damage, really solid paint. Everything's incredibly good with it. Splat Roller, I'm putting it in A tier. I think out of all the rollers, I think it's the best one in the entire game. Which isn't saying much because there really aren't that many options for rollers, unfortunately, right now. Splatana Wiper is a lot better than it was. I don't think it's crazy, as a lot of people are saying, though. It's still held back by the Ultra Stamp. It really is. I'm going to put it at a B tier. I don't think it's better than a B tier. Until Ultra Stamp gets buffed, I can't put it higher than that. So the Undercover Brella, I might as well get that one out of the way. That's garbage. If you want to play the Undercover Brella, you're legit asking to lose your ranked game. Same with the Splat Brella. I think the Brellas are all just absolutely garbage right now. Every single Brella in the entire game right now, I think, is absolutely just like unplayable. It really is. Like, they need to do some major reworks or like some major buffs to all the Brellas, because I think they're just garbage. I never see them played, and if I do, they just get destroyed. I don't know anybody that's playing Brellas right now, and I don't see anything being done with them. I don't see nothing being played. Garbage. It just goes to show you how bad the balance with the game is right now. You have an entire class of weapons that are all like legit unplayable, mainly because of how buggy they are and just how overall bad they are right now. And it's an entire class of weapons that never get changed or never get any types of buffs up until now. And the game has been out up until this point, and they still haven't got changed at all, apart from some bug fixes. And they're still incredibly buggy. Bad balance. Splatana Stamper. I said it like in the first tier list. I think I did. I think pretty much like once people start learning this weapon and you have some builds forming around this weapon that are actually really good with it, people are going to get really good with the weapon. It's going to be really good. It has the kit to be really good, and we're finally seeing now that people are getting really good with the Splatana Stamper. You're seeing this thing in a lot of your ranked games, especially like your higher tier games, and mainly with like the quick respawn type builds, similar to like the Dark Tetras, where you kind of just be really aggro and try to get up really close and one-shot people. Kind of that type of thing. If you die, then you just respawn really quick and come right back in. It has Burst Bomb, which is incredibly good for mobility and for being able to chip people down at medium range. And then Zipcaster. If you're great with Zipcaster, which a lot of people seem to be learning it and being a lot better with it, especially with this weapon, it's actually pretty solid on this weapon. I think this weapon's actually going to need to be nerfed. I really do. It's at the point right now, I think, where it's just incredibly good, and I think it's on the border of being nerfed and needing to be nerfed. If they give this thing a second kit that does not have Zipcaster and has a better special on it, I do think the main weapon's going to need to be nerfed, because the main weapon's absolutely insane. It really is. How much damage this thing does, it is crazy. Arrow spray, F tier, not good. Not a good weapon at all, apart from Turf War, but this is not Turf War. Splatter Shot Pro. I don't think this weapon is unplayable, but man, you are not playing this over anything else right now. There is no reason to. Even with having Crab Tank, there's just so many better weapons to be having Crab Tank that just farm it way better and just are way better to play. Splatter Shot Junior, I'm going to put it a B tier. Still really good. Farm special really fast, really easy to play, but you're just better off playing the custom Junior right now, which is being played. Squeezer, I think it's B tier, nothing crazy. If you're good with it, I'd probably put it higher, but just for your average person, I'd probably put it a B tier. 96 scale is an A plus tier, I think it's really good. The 96, regular 96 scale, I don't think is that good at all. I think I'm going to put it a C tier. Nothing with it's really changed at all, and you're not really seeing it being played. Especially over the 96 scale Deco, which has kind of pretty much outshadowed it in every single way, just because of Kraken. Custom Jet Squelcher, I mean, if I'm being 100% real, I think the custom, or the custom has a better kit than the normal Jet Squelcher because line marker is so bad. So I'm going to put the regular one at a B tier and the custom at a C tier and at a B tier for the custom one. Just because I think the custom has a better kit and not a useless sub like the line marker usually is. The line marker is just still so bad as a sub. That's why I'm putting that one at a C tier. The Splatter Shot, I'm going to put it at A plus tier. Incredibly good. Splasher-matics, nothing with this weapon has changed. I could sit here and rant and talk about this weapon for about 20 minutes and how it's so busted and they've never nerfed the entirety of Splatoon 3 so far. And I don't know what their favoritism is towards the shooters or the Splasher-matics. But same thing as last patch. Who would have thought that? Still being played in almost every single game. Still one of the highest win rate weapons in the entire game. Best Crab Tank farming weapon in the entire game. Needs to be nerfed into the ground, please. The main weapon does, and the special Crab Tank needs to be nerfed into the ground. Until that happens, it will still be probably one of the best weapons in the game, if not the best weapon in the entire game. NZAP 85 B tier. Nothing crazy, more comp dependent than with comps that actually take advantage of Tactic Cooler, but not really too bad apart from that. Sploosh, garbage, really bad. H3, awful. You're not going to be playing this weapon at all, and its kit is absolutely abysmal for the type of weapon it is. L3 Nozzle Nose, D tier, and the only reason I'm putting a D tier over F tier is because it has Crab Tank, and that is the only reason why I'm putting it a D tier. Blobber is C tier. You're not going to be seeing this thing very much. It's okay on certain maps that you can just like bounce the projectiles off walls and like your tighter areas. But apart from that, it's really map dependent. You're not going to be seeing it very much. Tri-Slosher. It is one of the only inkjet weapons in the game out of a limited pool of inkjet weapons. But apart from that, inkjet's just so bad, you're not going to really be playing it much anyways. B tier. Sloshing Machine. This thing got nerfed and got some pretty hefty nerfs. And it was not enough. Like I said, it wasn't going to be. It was not nearly enough nerfs for this thing. It's still being played in your higher tier games. It's still being played almost every single game. The best slosher in the entire game still. And probably one of the best Booyah Bomb spam weapons in the entire game still. Slosher. I'm going to put this thing in an A tier, kind of average. Nothing with it's really changed at all. Explosure, I'm going to put it in an A plus tier. I still think it's really, really good, but it's kind of the same thing as the Chargers, with some of the maps being reworked. You don't really have as many clean lines of sight. But the advantage of the Explosure and the Chargers is you need a direct shot with the Chargers. The Explosure is an AoE, so as long as you're hitting somebody over a wall, you're doing damage. So it could be a little bit better. But I'll be fair and put it in A plus tier because I think it's kind of the same spot as the Chargers. Ballpoint Splatling, you aren't seeing this thing being played at all. It's unfortunate, but Inkjet's just really bad. It has Inkjet, which is one of the only weapons in the game that has Inkjet, but out of a limited pool of weapons, but still not really good. Hydra Splatling, I want to put it in A tier. I do think if you actually build a team around this thing, and if you actually know how to play the weapon, it is really nasty. It really is. As long as you can keep away from getting dove by a lot of the closer range stuff. If you can do that, you pretty much just shred everything, and you can pretty much do whatever you want the entire game. It has a really solid kit, and the main weapon is really good, but you just got to know how to play it, and you got to know how to position yourself. I do think it's average, though, if you know how to do that. Mini Splatling, you're not seeing this thing being played at all. Garbage. Nautilus, I'm going to put Nautilus at an A tier. It is solid, but I don't see it really played that much, but I do think it has potential. I think it is at least average. Heavy Splatling, I'm going to put it in A tier. Nothing crazy right now, but you are seeing the Splatlings being played a little bit more now that the Chargers kind of got a bit of changes with the map changes. Tri-String Bowl got a bit of a special points decrease. I don't think it's crazy at all. I really don't. But I'll put it at A tier because I do think it has potential. And I do think it's at least average. Reflux 450. Man, is this thing fallen. This thing used to be one of the best Tenta Missile spam weapons in the entire game. And ever since they nerfed Tenta Missile so where you can't, like, charge one as one is actually going off, you just don't see this being played at all anymore. And if you want a Tenta Missile's weapon, you're just better off playing the Flingza in every single way. This thing's damage is garbage, its range is garbage, there's no reason to play this thing at all. Apart from missiles, that's the only thing this weapon really had, and it's not good anymore. Luna Blaster Neil. Man, I love this weapon, and I've been playing the absolute shit out of this weapon, but man, is it not good. I think the only reason I'm doing good with it is because I'm actually, like, mastering the weapon, and I'm actually starting to master Ultra Stamp, and I'm getting really used to the weapon. And the main thing I play in ranked anyways is blasters. So, like, for somebody like me, I already have a lot of experience and most of my time playing the weapon class of blasters. If you're like your average person, you're not going to be playing this thing at all. The ult is still really bad. The special is so bad on this thing. Ultra Stamp is holding it back. Fizzy Bomb is really good. It is a really good sub for the weapon. I really love Fizzy Bomb on it, but man, Ultra Stamp, until Ultra Stamp gets changed or reworked or buffed majorly, it's not going to be good. And you're only really going to be playing it in towers. You can play it in Rainmaker too, but even then, you're just better off playing a lot of the other stuff, even like for blasters. Got the Ink Brush Nonavo. This thing's bad. You don't want to be playing this C tier at best, and that's the only reason I'm putting it C tier is because it can be decent in clams. Apart from that, it's garbage. The Snipe Rider 5.2, I think it is. D tier, this thing's garbage. Needs some major buffs, and I think the major problem with the Snipe Rider right now is that you need to be able to hold the charge. I think they need to make it so if you want to hold the charge, like, you get 5 shots. If you want to hold a charge, make it so it takes like 1 or 2 shots away from your stored shots, and you can only have 3, but you can move around with the stored charge. I think that's a major buff that this weapon needs, because otherwise it just doesn't make sense, and it's just so bad. Same with its kit. Its kit just doesn't make sense. It has Tactic Cooler, but it's a weapon that can't really get aggressive, which doesn't make any sense. I think it's being held back by its kit and the main weapon right now. Really cool design of a weapon, though. If this was a design tier list, and like a design overall, like design type list, I'd probably put this one like one of the highest designs on the list because man, it has a really cool design for a weapon, but the weapon itself is garbage, unfortunately. Dapple Doolies, I'll put it in A tier. Being held back by Reef Slider. If Reef Slider was a lot better, this weapon would get a lot better, but it's still pretty solid. If you know what you're doing, you can still do really good. Custom Roller Deco, I'm going to put it at B tier. Very situational, and it comes down to how good you can play this weapon, if I'm being 100% real. Like, if you don't know what you're doing with the custom deco, like, I wouldn't even, or the carbon deco, I keep saying custom deco, it's carbon deco. I wouldn't even touch this thing at all. You gotta know what you're doing. Big Swig Roller, I'm going to put it in an A tier, just because it can paint really well. Apart from that, it doesn't do anything. It got some small little mini buffs, but even then, I don't see it being played for very much at all. And the only time you're going to be seeing this played is maybe in splat zones. And apart from that, you're not going to see it very much at all. Arrow Spray, I think that's custom Arrow Spray with the gold Arrow Spray. I'm going to put this thing in a D tier, just because I do think it, out of some of the other weapons that are below it, I think the one niche this one actually has over the other Arrow Spray and some of the other weapons below this is that it can farm Booyah Bomb incredibly fast and just be one of those weapons that just runs like Alt Charge and like Alt Saver or Special Charge and Special Saver the entire game and just like paints non-stop and just spams Booyah Bomb. I think it does have one use in that case, but apart from that, it's still really bad. And even then, you're only going to be doing that in like towers or like splat zones, or I guess it's okay in Rainmaker too, but only a few of the game modes, and depending on what map it is as well. Splattershot Pro, man, this thing's pretty bad. I wish the special charge for this thing was so much lower, because I just feel like it takes forever to get Booyah Bomb. It's a decent, like, main weapon, but, like, the kit it has Suction Bomb and Booyah Bomb, and it's just way outshadowed by pretty much everything else right now, and that is the real problem with the weapon. Way too ink hungry as well, it takes way too much ink. Custom Junior, I'm going to put this thing in an S tier. You're seeing this played a lot. It is incredibly. It is the best wave breaker weapon. I knew earlier when I said the Rabbit Blaster, or the Range Blaster, I couldn't think of the weapon. Or the special name, it's the Wave Breaker. I was having a brain fart, but the Wave Breaker. Probably the best wave breaker farming special, or farming weapon in the entire game. Incredibly good. Like, non-stop wave breakers, especially if you can stack that with, like, another one on your team, if you happen to have two of them, or, like, with other alts, and other specials at the same time. It is really difficult to play into. I do think it needs to be nerfed. I think they need to increase the special charge on it significantly. We got the T-Tech Splattershot. This thing is incredibly good. S tier. Really easy to play and an incredibly good kit. Probably one of the best entire, like, shooter kits in the entire game for all the shooters. Apart from the Splash-O-Matic and some of the other ones. You're going to be seeing this thing played in, like, 90% of your ranked games. And if you want, like, a really easy to play, like, brain dead, straightforward type of weapon to play that you can just kind of play and just pretty much win the majority of your games, even though you don't really know what you're doing, and the weapon kind of just does its job for you with how easy it is and how good the kit is. That's the T-Tech Splattershot right now. I do think they need to nerf this weapon. I do think they need to significantly increase the ult charge for this weapon, and, like, even maybe, like, the main weapon itself. Like, nerf it in some way. I really do. It is so annoying to play against, and this spam was so spammable. The Neo, or the Nova, Splattershot Nova, A tier. Nothing crazy about this thing at all, but I do think if you want a weapon that can decently farm Killer Whale, and kind of be like a support with, like, a point sensor and that type of thing, I think it is decent in that aspect. And they did buff the painting of it recently as well, so it paints a lot better than it did on release. And then we got the Zinc Mini Splatling, which is still really bad. I'll put that at a B tier. You're not seeing this thing being played at all, and the problem with it is just awful. You're not going to be seeing it played over a lot of the other stuff, and there's just so many better options. But that being said, that is the entire list for 3.0.0. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like I said, this is 100% opinionated, so if you guys don't agree with me, or if I forgot something, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, or even let me know your own entire list in the comments down below. And if you guys like these videos, keep on showing support to the videos. I'll keep on bringing you guys these tier list videos. I really like doing them, and they're pretty fun to put out for you guys. So, apart from that, though, overall, the weapon balance of the game right now, I think, is pretty damn bad. I don't know. I don't remember it being this bad with Splatoon 2, if I'm being 100% real, around this time during Splatoon 2, like, shortly after that game got released. I mean, at the same time, we also had a bunch of different specials like Ink Armor, Stingray, like Splashdown, and a bunch of other ones that didn't even make it into this game that were also a lot better and a lot more fun to use that they've never brought over for some reason. So, I don't know. I don't know why they never brought Ink Armor or, like, Stingray over to this game. I think that was a huge missed opportunity. They could still do it in the future, even for, like, Splashdown, because Splashdown is in the game for, like, the hero mode and for, like, the main story mode. They can bring it back into the game, but I don't think they will. It's kind of a missed opportunity, because I think Ink Armor and, like, Stingray is more balanced than Crab Tank and, like, some of the other specials currently. And it's crazy. People thought those specials were so unbalanced for, like, the entirety of Splatoon 2, but, like, we're going on, like, the game being out for a long time now, and Crab Tank and there's a few other specials in the game that are still incredibly good, that you're just are, like, somehow even worsely balanced than those specials were in Splatoon 2, so I think that's mainly because they don't know how to balance this game, and they're just really scared to balance the game for whatever reason. They don't want to nerf anything, and they just want to keep, like, small buffing other stuff, which is not how you can balance. You can't do that. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in a future video.